Hi there, this is Marty from owingsart.com. That's OWINGSART.com. And today I want to accomplish three things in this video. One, I want to take a look at these Uni Ball pens, these impact gel pens. Two, I had a request from a YouTube viewer to see what happens when I reactivate Walnut Ink with a brush, so water. And then lastly, I've been getting some requests from people to take a look at some of the sketchbooks I've been working on lately, so I'll take you on a quick tour of those as well. So first thing I'm going to do is take a look at these three Uni Ball gel pens. These are made by the Mitsubishi Pencil Company in Japan. They're distributed in the United States by Newell Rubbermaid, the same people that oversee the manufacture of Prismacolor pencils in the United States. So there's two different types of pens here. Even though you see three pens, there's two different types. The silver and the gold pens are impact pens. They're impact gel pens. And this white pen, this is a UM153 Signo Broad White ink gel pen, white ink gel. So the first one I'm going to start out with the silver, and it's going to be a little tough to see. It kind of looks like white coming out of the end, but believe me, there's a very noticeable silver reflection coming off this gel pen as I draw with it. And I'll tilt it in a minute and you can see that the silver will be more pronounced. So, I mean, you can think of different applications for these gel pens, but, like if you wanted to get a metallic look or whatever, this silver would be great for that. I know it's a little tough to see, but there is a pretty distinct reflection. The gold pen, it's a little tougher to see on this toned paper. Again, maybe white would have been better suited, but it's again got a very pronounced yellow goldish tint to it, reflection. And then this is my favorite pen. It's the Uni Ball UM153, as I mentioned, white gel pen. And I use this pen for a lot of things, most especially highlights, but also outlining some of the cartooning I do, and I'll show you that in a minute. But this is just an all-around really great pen, which I use all the time, cartooning and for everything else. So if you use a toned or a gray toned paper, or even this brown toned paper, you can see how vibrant and bright that white is when I put it on the paper. It just really pops. So if you want to add livelihood or life to your drawings or your highlights or what have you, this is that Uni Ball Signo Broad White UM153 is the pen to have. Now Jet Pens carries it, but I know you can find it at local art stores, and if you get it on sale, it's a pretty good deal. So yeah, that's basically it. These three pens come in this package. I picked this up at I just happened to see it at Staples, so I picked it up for, I think it was like $8 or something. So all around, pretty happy with these Uni Ball pens, and like I say, I use the white all the time. I'll see if I can find a use for the silver and the gold. So a YouTube viewer named Adam Wallen had asked me to go ahead and see what would happen if I let the walnut ink dry and then used a wet brush to go over the walnut ink and see if it would reactivate. He had said that he has done this before with ink and it kind of turns to mud if you add water to it. And what I'm finding out right here with the early brush strokes is that's the same thing that can happen to this walnut ink. So it's permanent on the page, I guess, unless it gets wet or you want to reactivate it with water. Now that can have its pros and its cons, right? Because say you're using this as drawing ink or even painting ink, that's possible to reactivate it with water might be a real positive. So wow, I can actually paint with it. But if you were using it to write important letters or things you wanted to keep for a long time, I guess adding water to the ink and seeing what happens here is it kind of dilutes and turns to mud in a way is not good. So you have to decide how you want to use the ink. And there's probably people that are more expert at using the ink than I am, and if you have information or a way to get the ink to be more permanent or to resist water, or that's not even part of the equation, please drop a note and let me know. I'd love to hear from you. So you can kind of see what happens here. It does reactivate. Now it doesn't erase it completely. I'd have to soak the paper pretty hard to get the letters to be gone, but you can see it's already starting to fade out. The A, B, C, D there, you can see it's looking pretty rough. I'll post a link to the original video here, and if you go and look at that video in the comments below, YouTube user named MyPandaPaints has a lot of great suggestions on how to use inks and work with them as well, so be sure and check that out. Okay, well, I got enough requests now, emails and messages and tweets that people are interested in seeing some of my latest work in my sketchbooks. So I thought I'd show a little bit of that today. And most of these sketches are just done locally out in public or, in the field. I just go out and do some sketching. This one was down by the river, Mississippi in St. Paul, Minnesota. This one I actually did today. A good friend of mine named Larry Ehrlich and I went out and we just did some sketching at a local cafe, and that's great fun. Just getting out and sketching and just having a good time, drawing people and just practicing, that's good too. This is a book full of sort of cartoons, so I put people in, find people and draw them in cartoon form or caricatures. Sometimes I dress them in Victorian clothing like this guy, put a beard on this guy I saw out in public. He had these tiny, tiny glasses. I thought it was funny. And sometimes the characters just come out of my head, like this particular zombie here that I drew. I think I saw like an image of a zombie on the internet or whatever and took a stab at it. Here's another guy I saw out in public and I thought, wow, this guy'd look good in this kind of Victorian clothing and stuff. So I dressed him up a little bit. And sometimes you don't have to dress the characters up at all, really. They just kind of come to you as they are, and you draw them as you see them, but kind of create a caricature. So this is POTUS. This is a more sort of realistic sketch of a priest I did for a local guy. He just wanted me to sketch that. This is the character Goku from Dragon Ball Z. It's fun to take a break every once in a while and just kind of sketch these anime, manga characters. They're great fun, and I always have fun doing that. So I don't know if you can see it, but I use that Uni Ball Signal white gel pen to outline these guys. So that helps make the character pop on the page. You can see I did it here too with this woman who was drinking coffee at the cafe. And, just drawing caricatures and it's just fun to practice that. Not all the stuff I do is cartoony per se, but a lot of it's just fun. I do it just because it seems like fun. So here's a few more. This kind of guys. This is a guy's kind of like his first coffee of the day. He needs to wake up. So a local hipster. Yeah, that's basically hipster. This is a couple, they're out to be together, but they're not because they're on their internet devices. Sometimes they get a little crazy and just draw fruit or houses or figures or buildings. Buildings are fun. I love doing architecture. And I'm a big fan of comic books, so I do a lot of like Walking Dead and other kind of anime work. Just kind of whatever I see and I like. These are flapper girls from the 1920s. There's Goku again and a character named Ichigo Kurosawa from Bleach. Well, if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to leave a comment or a question. I love to interact with people who are interested in art and just love to exchange ideas. Well, that's all the time we have for today, but stay tuned and don't forget to visit the other videos on the channel as well. This has been Marty for owingsart.com. So long for now, everybody, and I hope you have a great day.